Hi guys, this is Stormborn283 and welcome to my channel. This channel is going to be about all things A Song of Ice and Fire, Fire and Blood, House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones. So if you're into that kind of thing, make sure to subscribe and check out my other videos too. Today I will be doing a breakdown of the official trailer for Team Black of House of the Dragon, and we've been waiting almost 2 years for this. It's felt like 15. There have been a ton of speculation about what we're going to see and changes from the book, all of that kind of stuff, so let's just get into it. Please make sure to hit the subscribe, the notifications, and check out the description of this video for a link to my other socials. Okay, so right off the bat, I love the dual marketing campaigns going on. I love the black versus the green trailers competing for views. It's very on theme for this show, and I think it's really unique and fun. I think whoever came up with that idea did a really good job. So the trailer for Team Black opens with a quick shot of Rhaenyra, Daemon, and one of the Cargill twins. And then we get a shot of Caraxes roaring in the rain at night. I'm thinking this is at Harrenhal. And over all of these quick cuts, we have Daemon Targaryen yelling, "We fight for our queen," presumably while riding into battle. And then after this is when the trailer really starts. So the first scene that we get is of Team Black holding a funeral, presumably for Lucerys and his dragon Arrax, after the events of episode 10 of season 1. And here's a quick warning for anyone who hasn't read Fire and Blood or who hasn't seen season 1. I will try to avoid spoilers when I can, but sometimes they'll be unavoidable or I'll just really want to reference something from the book. So if you don't want Fire and Blood or House of the Dragon spoiled for you, this is your warning now for this video. Okay, so we see a funeral pyre being lighted. Rhaenyra, Jace, and Joffrey are standing on one side, and in a promo pic they released, you can see Jacaerys is holding some of Luke's clothes to burn, and on the other side, we have Rhaenys, Corlys, Baela, and Rhaena. And Rhaena, of course, was betrothed to Luke. It's so sad. The only member of Team Black that isn't there is Daemon. I think by this point he's probably already on his way to Harrenhal. And over this scene, we have Rhaenyra Targaryen saying, "My father chose me, his firstborn child, to succeed him." Now, that is not really something you can argue. It's definitely just a fact. Viserys chose Rhaenyra and never really wavered on his choice. In his mind, Rhae was his heir and would be a lovely ruling queen. And as she says this, the camera pans up and we get a shot of her looking distraught while standing over the pyre. And this, I think, is her perhaps giving herself one last moment to mourn and really grieve before turning her attention back to the war and getting her throne back. So Rhaenyra then says he held to his decision until death, while we get a shot of a dragon flying towards Harrenhal and past the Isle of Faces. The Isle of Faces is the island in the center of the God's Eye, and it is covered in weirwood trees. And the island, the trees, they play a huge role in Westerosi history, so it'll be really interesting to see what they do with that, how much they show us of that. And the dragon in this shot, I believe, is Syrax. She has a pretty unique look to her, and I think that this is her and Rhaenyra perhaps flying in to accept the surrender of Harrenhal or to meet up with Daemon, maybe. And next, there is a quick shot of Rhaenyra standing with a woman overlooking a sunset and a dragon flying. And this shot is really mysterious. It's not obvious to me where this is. It doesn't look like Dragonstone, and I don't think that it's King's Landing yet either. I think this is probably a different castle, perhaps somewhere Rhaenyra is gathering support or meeting with a lord, something like that. And this woman could be almost anyone. I don't think it's Rhaena, Bela, or Rhaenys. My only other real guesses are Mysaria, the White Worm, or Nettles, the dragon rider of Sheepstealer. And Nettles is actually one of my favorite characters from the book. There were rumors that she wouldn't be featured in this season, and I really hope that that isn't true. And then we get another quick profile shot of Rhaenyra looking more focused than we saw her before. So the next scene we see is Syrax and Rhaenyra on the beaches of Storm's End, and this shot is extremely tragic if it is what I think it is. I think that this is a shot of Rhaenyra finding or pulling whatever remains are left of Arrax onto the beach. Syrax is roaring, and remember that Arrax came from a clutch of Syrax's eggs, so this is really two mothers finding the remains of their children, and it is just so sad. Rhaenyra looks to be crouched down in anguish. If this is what I think, it's just going to be so heartbreaking. And this is also what I think maybe they're burning in that funeral pyre scene that we got from before. So after that, we get a shot of Aegon entering the throne room while Rhaenyra continues with, "And yet Alicent's son sits my throne." And the shot of Aegon whipping his cloak, sitting on the throne with that smirk on his face, it is giving Joffrey, it is giving Cersei season 6 finale. I am feeling for the people of King's Landing, the people of Westeros. He has felt ignored and cast aside his entire life, and now he has a crown on his head, and I think he's really going to take advantage of that. The next scene, this one was really, really fun. The next scene is of Rhaenyra hosting a dinner, and she is looking every bit of a queen. She looks amazing. And she's at dinner with the Dragon Seeds, the bastards of House Targaryen on the island of Dragonstone. And again, we see a woman, but I don't believe it's Nettles. I think that it's Bela. And Rhaenyra gives us a great line. She says, "I mean to fight this war and win it."
I mean to fight this war and win it.
And they cut this with a shot of Daemon smirking, but if you look at the dinner scene, Daemon isn't actually there. So this is them being a little cheeky with that editing and cutting two separate scenes together. So the real question becomes, who is Daemon sitting with, and why is he smirking at them like that? Because I am not liking that, if it's not Rhaenyra that he's smirking at. Now this next shot really intrigued me. We get a quick glimpse of a dragon flying towards a castle from the inside of that castle, and then we get these two amazing shots of Rhaenyra walking towards Syrax getting ready to leave, and it looks like maybe this is a great cavernous area on Dragonstone. The dragon keepers are there, and Rhaenyra is walking across a bridge to Syrax. And Rhaenyra is wearing a beautiful, intricate braid and a dress in all Targaryen colors. It is very much giving Daenerys season 8, fashion-wise and hair-wise. And over these shots, we have Prince Jacaerys Velaryon saying to Lord Cragen Stark, "The realm will soon tear itself apart if men do not remember the oath sworn to King Viserys and to his rightful heir." And I love both Cragen and Jacaerys. They're both everything that a loyal prince or lord should be. And they rep for Rhaenyra always, and I love that. We get a couple quick shots of Jace and Cragen in the north on the wall. It'll be so exciting to see Winterfell again, the north, the wall. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how the crew of House of the Dragon changes up the sets and the scenery, similarly to how they did with King's Landing. They kept the same feel of Game of Thrones, but they definitely added and changed some things, and I loved that. So I'm excited to see what they do with the north. It'll be really cool. Then we get a bunch of quick shots of Rhaenyra's face, a high tower soldier looking up to the skies, and then we get a quick snippet of a dragon. And I was watching the Gray Areas breakdown. I love her videos. She's the best. I watch them all. and she thought that this was Meleys, but I actually think that this is Syrax again, because if you look here, if you can pause it just right, you can see her iconic and distinctive horns. Then after that, there are some soldiers being knocked over, Aemond walking towards something or someone late at night in the Red Keep. You can see a tapestry behind him on the wall of the Red Keep. Then there's just a quick glimpse of Otto in a small council meeting, and then a scene of Corlys and Rhaenyra talking on the docks of Dragonstone or High Tide. And Corlys tells Rhaenyra the High Towers are marching. You must crush this beast at its head. And we get a shot of Daemon wielding Darksister at night. It's raining, and I'm pretty sure this is him at Harrenhal after landing there with Caraxes. From that, it cuts to a shot of Alicent and Helena dressed all for mourning, and they're leading a funeral procession. This will probably be the casualty from Blood and Cheese, the events that Daemon and Rhaenyra set off as retaliation for Lucerys' death. We get a glimpse of Aegon looking depressed. Maybe after the events of Blood and Cheese, it'll be interesting to see how he takes it, how his character changes from that. Next, we get this awesome scene of Daemon mounted on Caraxes. I think this is him giving conditions to the Lord of the Riverlands. The gray area pointed out that this was very much Aegon the Conqueror vibes, giving the terms during the day and then sacking the castle at night in the rain with his dragon. And Daemon tells the men her terms are very simple. Renounce the false king and bend the knee to the queen or your house burns. And I immediately thought of Daenerys in season 7 giving conditions to the Lannisters, and it was just, the Targaryen blood runs thick. Next, we get some quick action shots of the cavalry charging through a forest. I think this might be the Battle of Rook's Rest, and that's an iconic event from Fire and Blood, and I think it's the first major battle of the Dance of Dragons. We then get a very cheeky, very quick shot of Baela and her dragon Moondancer. If you pause it just right, you can see this profile of Moondancer, and she just looks beautiful, totally different than any dragon we've seen so far. To me, I don't know, she just has more of a fantasy look and a fantasy feel than some of the other dragons we've seen. And so this moment is very interesting because it looks like Baela is being added to the Battle of Rook's Rest, and this has huge implications on the story because of what takes place during the battle, the casualties, and now Baela will be there to witness these things. And I think it's safe to say that she will survive this because she still has some very important, very iconic scenes later on in the story. She becomes a really huge player, and I love her. I love Baela. I love Rhaena. I love both of their characters, and I'm really excited to see everything that they do with both of them this season. The next thing we see are 2 shots of Rhaenyra looking contemplative, as Rhaenys says, when the desire to kill and burn takes hold and reason is forgotten, you will not even remember what began the war in the first place. And I totally had chills when she said that. Rhaenys is always amazing. She totally steals the show in these trailers. And after we get that clip of Rhaenys, we get one of Aegon clubbing someone. This is probably somebody accused of spying or plotting against him. And then after that, we get this show-stopping look at Vhagar emerging from a bank of clouds. She's absolutely stunning. They totally nailed Vhagar. I can look at her and imagine her in her youth melting Dorne and fighting in the Conquest. It's just amazing. I can't even believe we get to see it sometimes. We get a shot of Daemon kicking some castle doors open, followed by a shot of one of the Cargill twins fighting, and I'm thinking that this is in Dragonstone and that he's fighting his brother. who's been sent there to assassinate Rhaenyra. I think this is going to be that iconic and I love you brother scene from Fire and Blood. It's so sad. It's so brutal. I wish that the Cargill twins didn't have to go out so soon. And then we get a shot of Rhaenyra walking out and sighing over the battlements of a castle. And then our final scenes for this amazing trailer are of Rhaenyra. She's wearing a black dress. Again, it reminds me of Dany. And Rhaenyra looks up and says, "I fear what I have begun." And I just want to tell her that I don't think she started this at all. I think she was the only one trying to keep the realm from diving headlong into war, and they killed her son and her daughter, and now Rhaenyra has to finish what Otto and Alicent started. And then we get a shot of Daemon's dragon Caraxes letting loose it's just a terrifying roar. And that is the end of the trailer. It did not disappoint me at all. I loved every glimpse that we got of Rhaenyra and Syrax. Daemon seems to be really supporting Rhaenyra as queen, and I love that as well. I do wish that we got some more shots of Rhaena, Baela, and Rhaenys, but the shots that we did get were amazing. To me, it looks like they're giving the female characters some more agency than they had in the books. It looks like they're being added to some battles, and I'm so happy about that. I really love that. I'm so excited to see all of Team Black in action, and especially the female characters. If you watched this whole thing, you're amazing, and thank you so much. I would be so happy if even just one person watched this. I love this show, I love these books, and this video is just me trying to build up my little House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones fan community. I'm really active on Instagram, posting passages from the books and photo and video edits, a lot of Daenerys and Rhaenyra content, so make sure to check out my other socials. They're all Stormborn283, so that makes it really easy. Please like and comment down below your favorite moments from the trailer, and comment some other videos and some other things you'd like to see about House of the Dragon, Fire and Blood, or Game of Thrones. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!